Hello, welcome to this week's The Story of a Poor Boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
This week, the Premier League season came to a halt, with Liverpool playing Wolves at home with a 2-0 win, which unfortunately, as we all kind of presumed going into the last day, wouldn't be enough. But
it wasn't quite.
It is the hope that kills you.
But hey,
and you
for
will never
83 seconds.
Yeah.
For 83 seconds, we won the league.
Yeah. For 21 minutes, Liverpool were top on the last day of the season.
That is true.
While City were held and then City were behind, I think, and while we were winning. Yeah. So it was. You'll never take those seconds away from me. But unfortunately, it does mean that Liverpool have finished second in the title race. We can't lie, kind of saw this coming. There's been no match review or player ratings from us this week because I've been dying since I got home from the match on Sunday. Genuinely don't know what's up with me. I think I've got a stomach bug or something.
Mikey is lacking all the bodily fluids.
Yep.
Going out both ends. It's horrible. You should see the state of him.
I'd love to.
He's lost about 3 stone.
I'd love to correct you on that, but yeah. So what we're going to talk about then is I don't really think there's much point in talking about Wolves because I don't think either of us remember it at all, to be honest.
We won 2-0. Mane scored at least one header. I don't know.
I think there are 2 headers in there, yeah. Genuinely,
we were staring at our phone.
Yeah, I hardly watched the game. I spent most of the game trying to get signal on my phone just because I was so preoccupied with what the other team were doing, which is kind of against...
Which is not the way to be, really, is it?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of against the mantra I've been living with this season.
We got a bit caught up in it.
But yeah, it does happen, doesn't it? So we'll look at that and look at the season as a whole in this episode. We'll also have a little chat about some transfer rumours because after all it is now silly season again.
Yes.
And then we can have a brief glimpse forward to the Champions League final and the build up towards it.
Yep, season's not over after all.
The season is not
over.
We
can all be depressed that we didn't win the league, but we're in a Champions League final again, 2 years on the bounce.
Yeah, and that
bad,
is
it?
Yeah, exactly. That's something that Liverpool haven't managed since 1985, 1984, 1985. So
yep.
That deserves enormous credit in itself. Obviously, with Rafa, we got to 2 in 3 years, but no gap.
We'll make
with
it
this
3
team.
and 3. It'll be sound.
It's at the Aztec next season, so that will be interesting.
So's the Super Cup.
Yes, it is indeed.
If that's not fate, I don't know what is.
We'll wait and see. I think we grasp onto anything. It's fate these days as football fans, don't we?
That is true.
Wolves game. I mean, from what I do remember watching this game, Liverpool aren't great in this game, to be honest.
No. Residing memory from it was we weren't terribly good. Wolves were very disciplined, very, very disciplined, and looked to hit us on the counter.
Yeah. I did say this in the ground. To be fair, that when I've not seen a team that well organised this season at Anfield, like outside the top 6 anyway.
Yeah.
They just turned up to just be just try and deny us anything, and we get through obviously through the full-backs, but through the full-back in Trent Alexander-Arnold. But it's a good performance from Wolves, to be fair, and you can see why they've taken points off of the teams. I was going to say around us then, the other top 6 teams.
The teams below us.
Yeah, because there's only one team around us, and yeah, I'm still a bit salty about that, to be honest.
Yeah, them though, innit?
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So Liverpool line up with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson. Midfield 3 of Gini Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson, and Fabinho, and then the front 3 of Salah, Origi, and Mane. So I mean, there were a couple of doubts in there after the Barcelona game. Robertson, Henderson, in particular, and Origi, I believe, as well. Salah had his concussion recovering, but all come back in. I think it was the pull of maybe being able to lift the Premier League on the last day of the season.
Definitely, yeah. You don't want to miss out on that, do you?
No, exactly, especially if you're Jordan Henderson. I think he'd have absolutely flipped if he wasn't on the pitch for the...
Do you reckon he'd do a John Terry?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have fucking blamed him either, to be fair, taking it off of straight out of Verge's hands as well. But yeah,
Bless.
I mean, on paper, that team you would think had enough to beat Wolves, and then you start factoring in the Barcelona of it all a couple of days before, where you could definitely allow this team to be knackered. And you know what? It's get the job done. At the end of the day, they get the job done. They've done all they could to win the Premier League.
Yeah, I think it's gone a bit under the radar how easily Liverpool could have fallen apart in that last game, because Wolves were very, very good, and we could have started panicking, especially when Brighton went 1-0 up and then immediately went 2-1 down. The players could have felt that nervous energy from the crowd and just completely capitulated like we did against Chelsea in 13-14. And I think just the fact that no nonsense, didn't even really play that well, but scored 2, kept a clean sheet, just got the job done. Did everything they could to win the title. It wasn't quite there, but they did absolutely everything. These last 9 games, 9-game winning runs, just absolutely ridiculous. The mentality of the players to be able to just churn out wins like that. And obviously City did about 14 games as well, and props to them, I suppose. But this Liverpool team's just fucking brilliant, and maximum respect to them for getting this over the line.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the narrative will always be, for anybody who's not a Liverpool fan, that Liverpool have bottled the title race, Liverpool have thrown the title. To have won the Premier League this season, Liverpool would have had to have finished 1 point short of the record points total in a Premier League season.
In any season?
In any season, yeah. So Man City obviously last season get 100 points. This season Liverpool needed 99 to win the Premier League. I mean, there's a point where your ambition, realism can't match ambition at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool fans might well think that we were capable of taking those points, and you know what, they might well have a point. At the end of the day, there are results. We will all look back on this season and say Liverpool should have done better in this game, Liverpool should have done better in that game. But at the end of the day, when all's said and done, Liverpool, we're entitled to have sticky spells, and yet we have a couple here and there. Like, we have a couple of bad games. There's no catastrophic period where we lose 3 out of 5 games. There's literally 1 loss all season. There's 7 draws. There's 30 wins. Liverpool did pretty much everything that was expected of them. 97 points is not to be fucking sniffed at, and it's unfortunate really that there was just a team that are just slightly more equipped to handle a title race than Liverpool were. When their best players go off the boil, or when their best players are injured, they are bringing in players of the standard of the lads that we're starting.
Yeah,
and
sure.
That's the cold, harsh reality of it all. Is that the team with the most money wins the Premier League, and it's normally what happens, and unfortunately it's happened again here. But it's not down to anything that this Liverpool team could do.
No, true. It was out of our hands for a while. All we could do was just keep on winning, and we did. We can't say fairer than that. The fact that it was out of our hands when we was on such a high points total is just testament to how ridiculous these two teams are. We've left everyone else in the dust. Third is 24 points behind us, or first. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's the kind of gap that you're used to seeing from the top 6 to
25.
The rest. 25 points between the top 2 and everyone else.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. We might not have won the title, but we had a Champions season. We absolutely had a Champions season, and every one of those players are absolute heroes. And it's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. It's like Klopp said, and it's like we've been saying every week. It's not the first chance. It's not the last chance. Sorry, it's the first chance. And we've done this. We've got to 97 points and the Champions League final. City didn't do that.
Yeah.
If we win the Champions League, we've had a better season than them. Don't give a shit.
Yeah,
They might have retained the Premier League, but we took them to the very, very last day.
There's a good chance they walk away with a domestic treble, though.
There is.
Which is obviously quite. It's
never been done before.
Yeah, exactly. It's unprecedented, and it's quite an achievement to do that, which would be impressive. But
so is getting this many points and winning the Champions League. That's unprecedented.
Yeah, that is very true as well. No team's ever done this. Only 2 teams have ever finished with more points than Liverpool have right now, and it's City this season and last season. We've been building to that for ages. Derby have just scored.
Nice.
Missed that completely. I've been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks that that's a possibility. Liverpool might finish on 97 points, but now the realism has fully hit home, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. just open to sound like I had me feet on the ground, to be honest, more than anything else. But for context of how well Liverpool and Man City have done this season, the bottom 3 points totals together is 76 points. So
wow.
Yeah, exactly. So that would, if you combine Cardiff, Fulham, and Huddersfield as one team, they would finish third. Still 21 points below Liverpool.
Team now.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'm just getting fucking wound up now, to be honest.
It's fine. We didn't record straight after the game because Mikey was ill, and I needed time to absorb all that and reflect. And
yeah,
I was a bit too sad because I got drawn in and thought actually maybe we could when Brighton went up.
Oh, too. I was fucking crying my ass off.
Yeah, I needed some space from it. I needed some time, and you know what? What a fucking season! What a fucking season these players have had.
It does help to just sometimes just take stock and just step back a little bit and just remember exactly what has been achieved this season.
30 wins out of 38.
Yeah, exactly, and 17 points dropped overall in the Premier League season.
Alisson a Golden Glove. Robertson getting the most assists for a defender ever.
No,
sorry, not Robertson. Alexander-Arnold. Player of the year in Virgil van Dijk. 2 Golden Boot winners in Salah and Mane.
Yeah.
Like, we've had a ridiculous season.
Mm-hmm.
And any other season except for this or last, this team goes down in history. And it still will. This team still will go down in history for us.
Yeah. You're looking at La Liga as an example of what happens when one team kind of runs away with it. Barcelona this season are going to finish, if they win their last game, will finish on 89 points this season. So Liverpool and Man City both beat Barcelona this season in terms of the points.
Oh, we swatted them in the Champions League anyway.
Liverpool beat them actually when it mattered as well. So I think that's basically all we can talk about with the Wolves game, to be honest, because neither of us really paid attention to it, to be fair, despite the pair of us being in the ground. If I had to pick a man in a match, I'd probably say Sadio Mane because he scored 2 goals. That's probably as good as I'm getting.
I never want to see him alone in main stand again. Not that close to the away fans. Wolves fans were just the most...
AIDS.
It's just that fucking banter. And I did air quotations when I said that because I hate that word. Just 10 points up and you fucked it up and all that shite. Like, I don't actually think we were ever 10 points up, were we?
We were
maybe
7.
for a day until City played and then we went back to 7.
That was it, I think basically we played it on Saturday and they played it on a Sunday or something along those lines. And on the Saturday we went 10 points clear. Which meant that when they had 2 games in hand, they were 10 points behind. Sound.
Well, but like by that logic, doesn't the first team that plays in a Premier League season
bottle the title every year
and bottle the title?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's daft. The thing is, there seems to be a habit, and it's a strange habit at the moment, and I think people will eventually wake up from it. But it's the thing I liken it to is when Everton fans take the piss out of Liverpool for not winning a trophy and not winning a final last season. It's like a homeless man laughing at you because of the colour of your front door. Do you know what I mean? It's Liverpool are getting into these positions where we can win things and everybody else isn't, and they take great pride in the fact that they can mock us for not for achieving.
It's the pot calling the kettle shit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're not even looking at a pot there, really, are they? They haven't got a pot to piss in, most of the teams in this league. Fucking they're all as good as a chocolate teapot when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Compared to what Liverpool and Man City have done this year. Proper fucking espresso machines at this point in comparison. But yeah, there's a nasty habit of people who support other clubs who've never done anything deciding that it's funny, and it's I do have to pity them when they're sitting there taking the piss out of teams who are achieving great things at the end of the day. And the whole idea of Liverpool fans would be unbearable. I mean, yeah, all right, fine. If you honestly think that I would take time out of my life to fucking worry about anybody else if Liverpool won the league on Sunday, then I mean, I feel for about the rest of the years in the slightest. But you know what? That doesn't get likes and retweets on Twitter, does it? So it's fine.
That is
if
true.
you think that Liverpool are more responsible for ruining football than Man City are, then you're much more the problem than we are. I tell you that for free.
You're a fucking moron.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of ruining football, then let's get to silly season and talk about transfers.
Silly season.
Shit like that. We should also say as well, I suppose we should wrap up the Premier League a little bit, actually.
Yeah. I think we should say we're going to have an actual proper season review in a week or two.
Yeah, we should do.
Once we've had more time to properly reflect and pick our moments from the season and all that stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a better idea than just recapping it now, I guess, isn't it? But, commiserations to Huddersfield, Fulham, and I was going to say Cardiff, but I don't really care about them getting relegated. And
fuck this.
Congratulations at the moment, is it to Norwich, Sheffield United, and playoff winners yet to be decided? Is that right?
Yep.
It is Norwich and Sheffield United, isn't it? Yeah. So I mean, two good teams that we'll be looking forward to playing next year. I'd make a joke about re-signing Luis Suarez, but I want nothing to do with that prick ever again.
That is true. We'll just have to get a new Luis Suarez.
Yeah. And so on that note, Liverpool this season been last couple of days, shall we say, have already been this silly season. It's in full swing already, and the rumour doing the proper rounds already is Felipe Coutinho is after a new club again, because apparently Liverpool fans were right when we said don't go to Barcelona because you will be nothing special there.
Well, they're after Griezmann now, aren't we? And that would mean Coutinho's a bit surplus to requirements.
Yes.
If they're getting another attacking player in, and he doesn't seem to have melded in that midfield as much as he wanted to. And he's a little shit, so they want rid.
Yep. I mean,
the first rumour that's come out, flying out the block is, Liverpool should go back for him.
Well, I mean, the first rumour I heard, obviously, throughout the season, it's been United going after him kind of thing. I don't think he'd go to United.
I think I've seen Chelsea as well.
But this is the one I was about to say. The current rumour. Oh, that's really bad. Sorry, I was just seeing the Derby goal in the playoffs. The current rumour that's flying around is that basically if Chelsea get their ban overturned, then they're going to have a stupidly expensive summer. So what will happen apparently is Eden Hazard will be free to have his Real Madrid move as long as they can replace him with Phil Coutinho. Now, I mean, there's many problems with that, I suppose, in the fact that they're slightly different players. I don't think they can expect what they get from Hazard from Coutinho, to be honest, in terms of
everything that Hazard has except for pace and strength. Hazard's best role is cutting in from the left and creating something either for another player or an absolute screamer. And Coutinho's very, very good at that.
Yeah, I suppose. But I do think.
So I get it.
I do think there's an argument though that Chelsea to replace Chelsea's best player is not the most sensible option for his career, because at the end of the day he's gone to Barcelona as hoping to be Iniesta's long-term replacement. He's ended up being Neymar's to an effect, and it's not quite worked out for him. He's not hit the ground running as he wanted to. Barcelona fans are expecting the world from him, and he's not quite been able to deliver it. Chelsea fans are going to be the exact same. Chelsea fans will want him to be exactly what Eden Hazard is and deliver the exact same kind of numbers. And I'm not saying that Coutinho's not capable of that. He is definitely capable of it. We saw him at Liverpool. But at the end of the day...
Well, Hazard's only had 2 seasons in 8 where he's got decent numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we could argue about that all day, I suppose. I don't know where I stand anymore. He's very good whenever I watch him live, and then he just seems to disappear for months.
Like Coutinho used to.
Well, yeah. Remember that 5 games
five
on,
games
5 games,
5 games off.
5 games off. Great days. But I don't think it makes sense for him to go and try and make himself Chelsea's new talisman instead. Yeah. I think he needs to be a bit more subtle about something. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he can come in and be somebody's marquee, which would mean that the Liverpool move would make sense.
Yeah. So, do you think it makes sense for him? Do you think it makes sense for Liverpool?
Makes sense for him. It doesn't make sense for Liverpool.
No. Would you want him back?
In the regard that I want the best players to play for my football club, yes. In the regard that I do think that it would show that Liverpool, maybe the grass isn't always greener, and maybe it's a warning for the likes of Salah, Firmino, Mane, Fabinho, Van Dijk, Alisson, who might well, 2 years down the line decide that, well, the clock's ticking, maybe now's the chance for me to get a move. Maybe it's a warning if Coutinho's in that dressing room already, where you just go, look what happened with him, and now he's back here. Do you really think it's worth you leaving to just come back here?
Well,
straight after.
If he's left and he's welcomed back in, then it's no risk, is it? If any of these players want to go to Barca, they can, and we can just buy them back next year if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and from that aspect, but what I'm looking at basically is the idea that you use Coutinho as an example of, listen, I went there and I didn't achieve what I wanted to. All right, he's won a league, and
you could just have a picture of him.
Yeah, and I suppose
look, he left and he's shit now.
I suppose that is the other argument, isn't it? Is that you use the Fernando Torres case on them of well, he left and he went to shit straight after it. That works as well.
But win a Champions League, though.
He did win a Champions League, but Coutinho's won a league this season. At the end of the day,
yeah, true.
Just because somebody, that's another trend that does my head in modern football is measuring the value and worth of a footballer based on what they've won as part of a team.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying for 1 minute Jimmy Traore didn't pull his weight in Istanbul, but at the end of the day, he has a medal that is worth just as much as Steven Gerrard's medal from that day. Yeah. And we know that they were vastly different players who had vastly different contributions on that game. So, from that aspect, I do know what you mean, but I think it makes sense if Liverpool can do it, if Liverpool can accommodate him in what they wanted Nabil Fekir to be last summer. Because at the end of the day, if Nabil Fekir was coming in as a Coutinho replacement, then what better replacement is there than for Coutinho? Do you know what I mean?
True.
For Coutinho. If Jurgen Klopp feels that we need the number 10, then we're talking about somebody who comes in, knows pretty much everybody already, knows the setup. It won't take him any time to get bedded in. So from all of these standpoints, it makes sort of sense. But from a standpoint of Liverpool's formation doesn't fit him, unless Jurgen Klopp wants to change it, which I don't see him doing. He doesn't suit the formation. I think he'd limit the other three. I think he'd limit the midfield. I definitely think he'd limit the fullbacks because they couldn't be as adventurous as they are now. With us playing one less in midfield, I don't think it makes sense from a Liverpool fan point of view. It makes sense in a let's stop our rivals getting the best players point of view. And it all
Have
depends.
Liverpool ever been the kind of team that buys a player for the sake of it? We've not been Chelsea. Chelsea do that.
No.
They buy players and loan them out just for the sake of it.
No, but if you also know what Philippe Coutinho can do...
True.
and we know what Coutinho is capable of as fans, but they worked with him every day, and his ceiling was higher than what he left at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they might well be like, well, if he goes to Chelsea, he will absolutely flourish. I don't think he works at Chelsea, if I'm completely honest. I don't think he's a Sarri player.
Probably not.
I think
Sarri won't be there in like 6 months. So.
No, I don't agree. It depends entirely on what the transfer ban is.
It's Chelsea.
No, it doesn't matter if it's Chelsea or not. The only way that Chelsea get a new manager in is if they get somebody in who's completely inexperienced but is just a big name for the club. For example, Frank Lampard, John Terry, someone like that. But at the end of the day, they can't turn around and sack Sarri now, because what you offer the new manager? You offer the new manager, you can't rebuild for a year.
Yeah, but they've got about 30 players out on loan that they can just call.
Yeah, and that's fine, but you're still then working from a pool of 30 as opposed to a pool of every footballer on the planet. Do you know what I mean? And it's one thing saying, yeah, you can go out this season and buy Phil Coutinho, Dres Mertens, someone like that, just to lash a name out.
Have Chelsea ever made a decision as intelligent and thought through as that, though?
I think
when it comes to sacking a manager.
I think so, just because I think they saw... Well, maybe not in terms of sacking a manager, but I think they've already started thinking about this transfer ban when you look at what they did in January. When you look at them getting Christian Pulisic in early, and you look at them already turning around and not saying Hazard's going straight away. They're waiting to see what happens. And then there's, Olivier Giroud's not been told he's leaving yet, because they might well need to extend his contract for another season. Michy Batshuayi and Tammy Abraham might need to be recalled next season. Do you know what I mean? There's little things in there where Chelsea are scared that they won't be able to sign anybody.
Yeah. And that is all well and good. But if Chelsea is 6th or below by Christmas, Sarri's gone.
What the fuck now did we get on this?
It's Chelsea.
I don't know. I think
I'll put money on it right now.
I think they take a season in the wilderness for I mean, it's only two transfer windows they're banned for. So at the end of the day, it's the summer transfer window, January transfer window, and then next season they can do what they want.
Yeah.
So if they have to turn around and do a massive rebuilding project next summer, then I think Sarri for a season makes sense, and then he's gone in May. It just goes in May again.
Yeah, maybe.
And
back to Coutinho.
Yeah, back to Coutinho. Was that Harry Wilson who's just scored? No, it's not.
Never in a million years do I want Coutinho back in a Liverpool shirt. I don't care how much sense it makes. I don't care that we know Coutinho. I don't care that we wouldn't want Chelsea to get Coutinho. I don't ever want to see him in a Liverpool shirt again. He faked having a back injury twice. He refused to play in a very important qualification round for the Champions League. He threw his dummy out of the pram to get to Barcelona. His dream move, his absolute dream move. And we let him go. And his dream didn't really work out too well. Mm-hmm. And can he come back? Can we welcome him back with open arms after all that?
I'm not suggesting for 1 minute it'd be with open arms, but what I am saying is that
even through gritted teeth,
there'd have to be an apology from him. There'd have to be a written apology where he apologises for his conduct when he left the club. Which,
to who? To the club, to the fans?
I would want it to the other players and to the fans. I just to the club as well to a point, but I'd want to see Melissa Reddy or someone just post, oh yeah, Coutinho met with the other players and apologised to them for the way he acted when he was leaving. But the fact is, I mean, we're talking about ifs, buts, maybes with this, but I just don't think. I think it makes complete sense that if you can get over that over what he did to force a move, and I'm not saying for 1 minute it's right, but that's the way football is these days, I'm afraid. And if I take you back a month before we played Barcelona, you tell me you wouldn't have had Luis Suarez back this summer. And this is Luis Suarez who went to The Guardian and did an exclusive interview with them saying, Liverpool are holding me to ransom, let me go, please let me leave Liverpool, to go to Arsenal. Not to go to Barcelona, that was to go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
and Luis Suarez, who bit somebody and got a move away from Liverpool, and I would still have had him back in a heartbeat because he was that good a footballer. And I honestly believe, and it's a horrible thing to say, but I do think that there are a player's ability can mean you can forgive certain behaviours.
Maybe.
And another case in point, Javier Mascherano. Javier Mascherano refused to play the last game he was contracted for Liverpool. I think it was a 3-0 loss away at Man City under Roy Hodgson. He was supposed to travel with the team and refused to because he knew that Barcelona were interested, and then won the trophies there, and then apologised to Liverpool fans in the interview afterwards. He said, do you remember after they played United in the Champions League final, this is for Liverpool fans as well, because it was, he knew he'd done wrong kind of thing. I'm just saying that kind of openness of, listen, I know I've done something wrong here, but it was what I thought was best for me at the time. And let's not forget, I mean, Philippe Coutinho, as selfish as it was from him to do, it's selfish from us as well to turn around and be like, we have this idea in our heads of Liverpool being this bastion of everybody should want to play for this club, and I'm not saying that we aren't that, and we're getting closer and closer to that now. In fact, we are that now, exactly. But we weren't that when Coutinho left. We weren't a team who played in two Champions League finals.
We were so close to being it, and he could have ruined everything.
He definitely could have ruined everything, but the fact is Jurgen Klopp wouldn't have let him go if he wasn't convinced that we could have handled the loss. And
if Jurgen Klopp was willing to let him go, do you think Jurgen Klopp wants him back?
It depends on the finances of the thing. If you turn around to Jurgen Klopp, I'm not saying this happened, but if you say to me, Jurgen Klopp was told in an interview, right, okay, if you sell Coutinho, yeah, it did happen before. It's just, sorry, we've got the Leeds Derby game on in the background, and it's turning out to be quite an interesting game.
My impassioned rant.
Yeah, what was I saying? If you turn around to Jurgen Klopp last January and you say to him, last December, listen, we all know Phil's not happy. What we can offer you is, if we can sell Phil for, say, £140 million, what we can say is you can have Van Dijk from the summer. We'll pay whatever you need to pay, and then you can have that goalkeeper that you wanted. The big name goalkeeper. We're looking at Jan Oblak. We're maybe looking at this lad from Roma called Alisson. He's having a pretty good season, and might well end up being the best goalkeeper in the world in a year. So you can have those two, and you look at that team and you think, right, well, the other front three, the front three look capable of surviving without him. The defence needs work, and if this is the rock that I will build my team on, and it is Alisson and Van Dijk, then that's fine. And you take the loss of Coutinho, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
For that, and I think Jurgen Klopp he's been proved to have played the spot on. At the end of the day, we're now a better team than Barcelona, and it's as simple as that. I mean, obviously they've got the best player ever, but at the end of the day, who's in the Champions League final? I think that there was a lot going on with Coutinho when he left, and we have this idea behind us of, as I was saying before, we have this idea that everyone wants to play for Liverpool, but at the end of the day, South Americans look at, especially around our age as well, South Americans will look at what they had growing up, which was Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, all coming over to the continent and playing for what club? Barcelona.
Yeah, true.
I
completely get that, but I think for me the difference between Coutinho and, say, Suarez or Mascherano is Coutinho left when we were on the verge of something really, really great,
and Suarez didn't. Suarez left when we were literally. Suarez left at this point.
No. With 13-14, we knew that was a once in a lifetime fucking thing. We knew that.
Give or take, but
I might not have, because I was convinced we'd be title challenging the season after. But that was That was a perfect storm of things coming together at the same time. It was not sustainable. Not like it is now. Not like it is has been for the last 2 years.
You can say that all you like, right? But you take that team, right? Go back. I can't believe we're having this conversation now. But right, 13-14. Go back to that team, okay? I'm not saying that team's great, okay? But just cast your mind back and forget about hindsight, okay?
Yep.
You've got Simon Mignolet in goal, who's had a shaky start to the season. Or shaky start to his Liverpool career. He's not been great in his first Liverpool season. Saves a penalty in his first game though. Okay, your right back is Glenn Johnson, who's still at that point England's right back.
Yeah, okay? Did we or did we not hate him?
I've despised Glenn Johnson since the day he signed for Liverpool, mate. But at the end of the day, he's still England's right back, and people kept
that doesn't make anything. That doesn't mean anything.
Right, my argument for people saying Jordan Henderson's good at football is that everyone keeps picking him. There must be some weight in that with Glenn Johnson as well. Because everyone picked Glenn Johnson.
I can't believe you're defending this so badly.
I know.
You're so much, but you're defending Glenn Johnson.
Listen, right, let me finish the point then. All right, Martin Skrtel, who again, don't think he could defend, but he got a record goals number for a Liverpool defender, if I remember rightly. Something like that anyway, for a centre half anyway. Then you got Daniel Agger next to him, or Mamadou Sakho. At that point, we're still convinced Sakho's a good defender because he's come from PSG. You've got John Flanagan, who we're at that point still convinced is the best defender to ever happen, ever. Okay, because he's Scouse. That's literally the only reasoning behind it. Yeah. But a midfield four at that point of Steven Gerrard, Jordan Henderson, Philip Coutinho, and Raheem Sterling. Okay, one of the best midfields. If you had that now, that would still be one of the best. You'd replace Gerrard with Fabinho, sound. Okay, that's the best, one of the best midfielders in the world, and it just is. And then you've got a front two of Daniel Sturridge and Luis Suarez. You tell me that team is not, as this team was, 2 signings away from greatness, great things.
This team isn't 2 signings away from greatness.
No, the team that Coutinho left.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, not this team. This team's at great points now, and it's two signings away from sustainability across all competitions, I think.
Honestly, I'd say 5. About whole back 5.
I'm not saying that's not right, but are you saying that team couldn't have gone on to better things than the season after? Couldn't have improved on its points total if a Virgil van Dijk figure had come in at that point?
Maybe. Like, the main problem was the defence.
Yeah, exactly.
He shipped 54 goals or something stupid.
When we go back to the start of last season and we look at Liverpool's starting defence, and we've got Loris Karius, Nathaniel Klein, Dejan Lovren, Joel Matip, and Alberto Moreno, as it was at the start of last season, you tell me genuinely on paper that defence is much better than the one we had in 13-14.
No.
We've got a better defensive manager now.
You're right.
So I think you put Alisson. What I'm saying is, if you put Alisson and Van Dijk into that 13-14 team, then I think that team goes on to do incredible things the season after as well. So I don't think there's that much of a that much disparity between the points where Coutinho and Suarez left. Both those teams could have achieved great things straight after. The difference is one team did and the other team didn't. The other team signed Lazar Markovic and Mario Balotelli that summer, and the other team signed Virgil van Dijk and Alisson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's all about. Well, at the end of the day, Liverpool were moneyballing at that point. We weren't spending money to spend money. We were spending money to make money, and that's not what we're doing now. So I do think that there are more similarities there than it would first appear.
I am very happy that you defended Glenn Johnson, though.
I will. I've.
Do you feel like you need to go expel your bowels again?
I'm very ill this week. That's all I'm saying. I'm very ill. My stomach is fucking killing me right now. But
and your soul.
And my soul, yeah. But it's one of them. I've sold that.
You said Glenn Johnson was good.
I've sold that to Liverpool win a Premier League, a Champions League this season even.
That's a nice segue, that. So, in conclusion, Coutinho can fuck off.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's
not, maybe, who knows?
I don't think it's as cut and dry as us saying yes or no. I think there's definitely things that would have to happen. I would want him to apologise to us, and I want him to apologise to Jurgen Klopp and the players.
I want him to apologise to me personally.
Fine. I want him to go out and sign everyone's shirt. He'd lose his number 10 shirt as well, which should kill him a little bit as well, I think, because he liked the idea of being...
What's the worst number? What's the worst number we can
13. but Ali's had that all season, hasn't he? So.
Yeah, but he's number one now.
Oh, Harry Wilson's about to take a penalty. On the subject of silly season and on the subject of Harry Wilson, actually, lots of rumours again linking him away from Liverpool this season. What do you do with Liverpool? With Harry Wilson, even. What, Liverpool?
Well, I'll just see what he does with his penalty.
Great pen.
We're keeping.
Right, there's rumours Liverpool are apparently asking for around the £20 million mark for Harry Wilson this year. Wow. It's either Liverpool will want £20 million for him, or will look for him to go on loan.
Yeah, I think there's something there. I think there's a Liverpool player there, and I would like to see him on loan at a Premier League team. Mm-hmm. If that's with Derby, if they go up, perfect. If that's with a different Premier League team that plays decent attacking football, also good.
I think pre-season's huge for him. I say that every year about Harry Wilson.
Like, it's going to be huge for him. It's going to be huge for Brewster.
Ryan Kent.
Yeah. Is anyone else coming back off loan?
Marco
Ojo,
Grujic.
Is he still about?
Yeah, Shea Ojo's coming back from France. He's done him.
Yeah.
Marco Grujic is another one. Who will have to. Well, I mean, Hertha Berlin apparently will take him back in a heartbeat.
They love him, don't they?
Yeah, they love him. He's one of their talismans.
Pre-season for all of these, and it might mean that we don't have to buy like a £30 million player to deputise for Salah or deputise for Firmino or for one of the midfielders. To have these like academy prospects coming through after successful loan spells, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Lots of Liverpool players coming through that way.
This isn't an either-or situation with Harry Wilson, but if it was, I would much rather see Harry Wilson in the squad than Xherdan Shaqiri next season. It's not an either-or. The correct answer is both.
Yeah.
But if Liverpool were going to proceed next season with this squad basically intact, the one... If you're literally talking about chopping and changing, I would want to see Harry Wilson come in. I think Harry Wilson has a lot of potential about him, and maybe he does need to maybe have a season at somebody else in the Premier League. But we're talking about someone who's 22 years old now. He does need, at some point, we have the need to get the best out of him, and we need to get rid of him. And that sounds harsh. I can't believe 22 is the cut-off now. Do you know what I mean? I say that. I think 20 is at this point now. I think genuinely, if you haven't made it by 20, then there's a point where you're going to end up playing for either a lower level Premier League team or a Championship team. Yeah. And if you are lucky and you are a Danny Drinkwater or something like that, you might get an England call up later on in your career, but that's it. But yeah, I mean, we'll see, I guess. I mean, silly season has only just started, and we've already discussed that Glenn Johnson was a good right back apparently. So
it's very silly season, very silly season.
That's the silliest of seasons. So moving swiftly on from there, the Champions League final is on the 1st of June.
It's so long away. It's so long away.
Well, Liverpool are currently having a week off, and then they go to Marbella next week.
They do love Marbella.
They do love Marbella. I haven't seen Liverpool Twitter fuming yet about it, but I'm sure it's due, because last time we went to Marbella, didn't we draw 2 games on the bounce or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not very good after an international break, apparently, even though we're boss after an international break.
Yeah, it's weird.
Or like a long...
Yeah.
A one way of training, that's it.
But at the end of the day, Liverpool are going to Marbella where they went last season before Kiev. I mean... It's Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? It's
Tottenham.
It's to quote Alex Ferguson.
So goes the meme.
Yeah, it's to quote Alex Ferguson. It's fucking Tottenham, lads. I mean, we both agreed that we'd take Tottenham over Ajax definitely. in the last podcast.
You'd rather the devil, you know. And know how to beat them. We've done it twice this season. Klopp has had Spurs' number for much of the... Oh, what a goal. Ooh.
So this is turning into a hell of a game, this. Carry on.
We need to wrap this up soon. What was I on about?
Tottenham. You said Klopp's had Tottenham's number.
Yeah, he has. There's been a fair couple of draws, but...
and the loss at Wembley.
And
where Lovren had a absolute...
Yeah, that one. We
played really well that game as well.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
that Lovren brain fart. But for most of it, we've definitely had their number.
Yeah.
And I'm very confident we can beat these. Like, externally last season, I was very confident we could beat Real Madrid. Inside, I kind of knew we wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the same. I know we'll beat these. I just know it.
I mean, I'm full of optimism this time round, as opposed to it's not the fear of Madrid that we had last season, but it was just I was very wary of how good they are in finals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Spurs are not.
And Spurs are in uncharted. Spurs are us last season. At the end of the day, Spurs are. I mean, looking at the squad point of view, not the club. Obviously, Liverpool as a club have done a lot more than Spurs ever have. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at the squads, that Liverpool team last year had no experience in Champions League finals. Am I right in saying that? I think so.
Yep.
I can't think of anybody who's been at a big club before Liverpool who's maybe played in one. So I mean, we're talking about the only experience that squad really had to borrow from was the Europa League final, in 2016, was it? Yeah, 2016. So they are in similar territory to what we were in last year. Now the thing is, I think on a 1-game basis we are much better than them. Well, over a 38-game basis we are 28 points better than Spurs this season, something like that. So I do think that Liverpool have more than enough to put this game to bed early as well. But it's a Liverpool final. We know it doesn't work that way.
That is true. And we're not by any means saying that Spurs aren't a dangerous team, because they are. They've got a couple of really good strikers. They've got a good midfield. They've got really good defence. They've got an average keeper.
If really average goalkeeper. Yeah. Their striker can't move.
Yeah. In a one-off game, they're good. They are good, but I think in a one-off game, we're better. And that's just that.
The one thing that you can guarantee with it being Spurs is that it doesn't go to penalties, because they don't draw games in football.
That is true.
So I am made up it's Spurs. You also kind of hope Liverpool start badly, because whenever we start badly in finals, we seem to do quite fucking well, to be honest. Which when we start well, I'm looking at you, Europa League final against Sevilla. It's when we start pretty well that we end up fucking it. But yeah,
predictions
for the final, mate. I'm not in. It's not in my wheelhouse at the moment. I'm going to wait until a bit closer.
8-0. 9-0.
I think both teams score. I do think. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Lucas Moura this season. He just seems to be up for the big games. I don't expect Harry Kane to be back. Even if he is, I don't expect him to be fully fit. I do expect Liverpool to win the trophy, and I will be there this year, because I'm fucking not missing it again. Because I can't miss it again.
I will not.
Boo.
I know.
Boo.
Money.
We found out about the ballot entries tomorrow, though, so fingers crossed.
We do, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Alright, I think that's pretty much all we can cover. I suppose the one thing we didn't really talk about was the City chance. The fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Flight back.
Scumbags. They know what that song means. I'm not having it.
Yeah, exactly.
The players know what that song means. The statement afterwards where they said it's not about Sean Cox,
fucking madness.
It fucking is. Even if it isn't, you're still talking about Liverpool fans getting battered in the streets.
It's alright because
you're all fucking
yeah,
scum.
Exactly. It's alright because you're not singing about that fella getting battered. You're singing about somebody else. Fucking ridiculous. And the victims of it all chant as well. Company injuring Salah, celebrating a fellow professional going in with a fucking dangerous tackle.
Yep.
That could quite easily have injured Mo Salah if he'd have made contact. I mean,
nothing like a bit of class and grace in your winners, is it?
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't expect that to see from a Jurgen Klopp team. I wouldn't expect it to see from a Guardiola team, to be fair, because I do think as much as
club's rotten from top to bottom.
Yeah, as much as I can't stand this team, I do really like Pep Guardiola. I do have a lot of time for him, because I do think he's a genuinely nice fella. He do needs to give his cardio a wash, but other than that, but yeah, I'm disappointed to see that from his team, and I fucking can't believe the City statement didn't even include the word "we apologise for any offence caused" or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? But no, nothing. They just decided that it's never their fault, apparently, which is something that we get levied at all the time.
We do.
But there you go.
Oh well.
So that's been this week's. That's been a lot longer than I was expecting it to be because I'm dying, basically.
Mikey needs the loo, everyone.
I don't need the loo, but I do need to sit down and on comfort and write my last will and testament.
We stand up while we record this.
Yes, we do, yes. That's why the mic sounds so bad sometimes. No, so thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for listening for the entirety of the Premier League season when we have done this. It has really been...
Hey, that's our first whole season.
It has been our first whole season. It's
although it's not even over yet. So
no, exactly. It's our first full league season, and you know what? It's been great. I mean, at the end of the day, I probably will never go back and listen to all of it. But at the end, but it's there. And if Liverpool do great things and this Liverpool team go on to do great things, then we have it documented exactly what our thoughts and feelings each time, and you can see how much we flip-flop throughout the season. Because I assume we said different things at different points in the season.
And when we do sign
everyone,
Coutinho, and I'm fine with him in a year's time, I can listen back to this episode and say, that was really a hateful little bit.
Yes, so if you like what you've heard here, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. All of the other links to our content, that's the word I was looking for, all the other links to our content are available on the Twitter and Facebook pages. Follow us on Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, Podcast Addict, all of the usual stuff. WordPress as well, for articles. I might try and do something. I'm going to try and do like a season review kind of thing. Sorry once again for not doing a Wolves one, but I was fucking dead on Sunday. To the point where if Liverpool had won the league, I don't know how I'd have celebrated it. That's how fucking ill I was on Sunday. But yeah, there you go, getting over it now. So once again, thank you very much for listening. We do love doing this, and the season is very much not over yet. Liverpool have a chance to win number 6 in Madrid on the 1st of June. Up the fucking Reds.
Yes. See ya.